This is the video for Module 3, Lesson 1. We're going to learn how to make equivalent fractions using both a number line, the area model, and using numbers to make them. Before we move on to this, we're going to do a little quick review so that we make sure that we understand the different parts of a fraction. And we have to remember that the top part of a fraction is called the numerator. And the bottom part that is down below is called a denominator. I always say people that's down and denominator go together. And just as a reminder, a numerator and a denominator both have meaning in our fraction. The denominator right here tells you how many pieces the whole is. And the numerator answers the question. So if I said how many pieces are shaded, if I asked you how many boys were in the class, it answers the question. So that's our review of vocabulary, and now we're going to move on to making equivalent fractions. So the first thing we need to do is figure out what should our number line go from. So it's going to start at 0, and where should it go to? Well, when the numerator and the denominator are the same, we know that's equal to 1 whole. So since that's equal to 1 whole, we only need to go up to 1. Actually, we're going to back that up a tiny bit, and we're going to use our whole numbers on top of the number line. Then we're going to figure out where to put our fractions into the number line. When we want to figure out where to put our fractions into the number line, we look at our denominator to tell me how many pieces the whole is split up into. It's split up into two whole pieces. So these two pieces, we draw one line. One line splits it into two pieces. We don't draw two lines. So now we could fill this in. This is 0 halves, 1 half, and as we said before, 2 halves. Because the 2, it's not 2 2s, it's 2 halves. It makes a whole. Now, we're going to learn how to make an equivalent fraction for this 1 half. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a box. We're going to split it in half. And we are going to shade in 1 half. And we will write down what that fraction is, which is 1 half. So now we're going to try to make an equivalent fraction for that, so we're going to do that. We're going to draw a new rectangle, or square, split it in half again. Shade in 1 half again, always using vertical lines. And this time, we're going to split it horizontally, making two groups. So we had 1 half. And we split it into two pieces horizontally because this was one piece, this was another piece. So we're going to multiply it by 2, and that gives us 2/4. 2/4 we can double check because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and 1, 2 are shaded, 2/4 goes with it. So we know that 1 half is an equivalent fraction to 2/4. We're going to do another example. We're going to draw another square, split it in half. We're going to shade in that half. And now, this time we're going to pick another number to go by. We're going to partition it horizontally into 3 pieces. So I have 1, 2, 3 pieces. So I have my half. We want to figure out what it equals. So we're going to do 1 half times, this time it was our 3 pieces. And we end up with 3/6. So we know that 1 half is an equivalent fraction to 3/6. So we need to be able to place our fractions on a number line. We need to be able to write our number sentence, and we also need to be able to draw a picture. And if I ask you where 2/4 goes on the number line, it also goes where 1 half is. They are equivalent to each other. So we're going to try another one. This time we're going to work with thirds. We see that that's equal to 1 whole, so we know once again we only need to go from 0 to 1 whole. This time we want to split it into 3 pieces. We have 1/3, We have 0/3, we have 2/3, and this actually will be 3/3, and we'll put the 1 up on the top. And once again, we're going to draw our square. So we draw our square, and we split it into thirds because our number line is talking about thirds. And we're going to shade in 1/3. So here is our 1/3. And if we want to make an equivalent fraction to 1/3, we're going to split this in half. So we have 2 pieces. So we'll take our 1/3 and multiply it by 2, which makes 2/6. So we can do another example. We're going to draw 1/3 again, split it into thirds because our denominator is a 3. We're going to shade in our 1/3. This time we're going to split it into 3 pieces. And we're going to take our 1/3, and it equals 1 times 3 pieces, 3 times 3 pieces, and we get 3/9. So we know that 1/3 is an equivalent fraction to 3/9. And we could keep going and split it into fourths, split it into fifths, and so forth. Well, now we're going to move on to another example, which is a little different. We're going to start by not drawing a number line. We're going to just worry about drawing our squares. But this time I want to split it, and I want to shade in 2/3. That's where this is a little different. It's not 1/3 anymore. So we're going to do 2/3. And I want to split it in half so that we have 1 section, 2 sections. So we're going to take our 2/3 and we're going to multiply it. There's 2 sections. And that's going to equal 4/6. So this time 2/3 equals 4/6. It works the same way even if I shade in more than just 1/3 or 1/4 or 1/2. However many it is, I can split it. So we're going to do one more example on this. So here is my square. We're splitting into thirds, which tells me to split into 3 pieces. We're going to shade in 2/3 again, because we're talking about 2/3 just because that's what I had told you. So we have our 2/3 again. We're going to figure out how to make some kind of an equivalent fraction. If they tell me I can partition it any way I want to partition this into fourths. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to multiply them by 4. And I would get 8/12. And I would know that 2/3 is equivalent to 8/12. Because I haven't changed my shaded section, I've just added more pieces. Now we're going to try one more, which is a little different. We're going to draw a number line. And I want to make 5/4. So because I want to make 5/4, I know I'm starting at 0, but I'm going to go a little bigger than a whole because the 5 up here in the numerator is bigger than the denominator, so I have to go to 2. Since I have to go to 2, I have to show where 1 is in the middle. And remember, the denominator, that denominator tells me how many pieces to split my whole up into. So my whole goes from 0 to 1. So for that, I need 4 pieces. And then another whole goes from 1 to 2. So I need to split that up into 4 pieces. And I know then that 5/4 is right here. So now when I go to draw this, my whole has to be split up into 4 pieces. And when I go to shade in 5/4, I see that one whole has 4/4. So then I need to make another whole in order to do my picture. But it also has to be fourths because my wholes are always split up into fourths. And now I have 5/4. And if I wanted to show an equivalent fraction, I would do 5/4 equals, and set it up again so that I can multiply it by something. And this time I'm going to split it into 3 pieces. But I have to do it all the way through both pieces. So that's that 1, 2, 3. So since I'm doing it by 3 pieces, and I'd end up with 15/12. And that's how I make equivalent fractions using area models and numbers.